Shalom. I'd like to say all praise is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, of whom I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful members of the elect. My name is Conowalk from GMS Toronto, doing a quick lesson in regards to Jamaica's independence. Yesterday was Jamaica's Independence Day. They they were independent for 60 years. It's going to be 60 years since Jamaica has been independent. This is a thing off of Twitter. Today we honor Jamaica's 60th Independence Day, which is the celebration on August the 6th. On this day in 1962, the Jamaican Independence Act was passed by United Kingdom Parliament. This way, it says this was also the day that Jamaica's flag was flown for the first time. All right, because prior to the British, all right, who colonized Jamaica, all right, like the Spaniards, they were, we colonized, like the Spaniards was colonized too, right, in Jamaica, right? So there's a lot of history and stuff, a lot of wars, and there's a lot of things. It's not just one thing. There's a lot of history in regards to it, because prior to that, the people of Jamaica were speaking Portuguese and Spanish, right? But the British, they colonized us. Now we're speaking the English tongue. There was war. We had colonized it, we were colonized, and also in the from 1492, all right, when with the Spanish Inquisition, right, a lot of our people came to this new world, right, through Suriname, Guyana, Jamaica, all over, right, and we set up colonies and stuff, and we had trade routes and all kinds of things. Even a lot of those East Indians, right, a lot of our a lot of our people here who are in the West Indies, right, who are in Trinidad and Guyana and all that stuff. A lot of those are our people, the coolies, right? All right, there's a lot of history. All right, so there's a lot of history in regards to our people. I'm just gonna go into this, this is about Paul Bogle. All right, he was a man who stood for our people, and I think I know who this brother is, right? And he's in the brother, and he's down in Jamaica right now, prophesying right now. All right, there's nothing new under the sun, right? And I know who he is. I think this is one of the brothers in Portland, right? One of the brothers who was out there, who was prophesying by himself, right? And now he has a whole congregation, right? From Portland to to Kingston, and he's out there and feeding the sheep. Paul Bogle was a Jamaican Baptist deacon and activist. He is a national hero of Jamaica. He was a leader of the 1865 Morant Bay protests, who marched for justice and fair treatment for all the people in Jamaica. After leading the Morant Bay Rebellion, Bogle was captured, tried, and convicted by the colonial government, right? So the English government, who had declared martial law and hanged on the 24th of October 1865. All right, so over 100 and something odd years ago, man. All right, and and our people are still. You're not free, right? You're not free, right? You're still subject to payments. You're still in slavery, man. All right, so our people want to, our people want to go to all these events, this Jamaica Day event and stuff. We're not free. We're subject. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28 verse 60. No, this is Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron up until he hath destroyed thee. All right, so now, prior to that, right? Like when you go back into our slavery, our history, like we were actually, we were put into shackles. We had a yoke of iron around our neck, all right, and all that stuff, man. And there's a lot of things, man. A lot of wickedness. They're doing a lot of butt breaking on those plantations of Jamaica and all that shit, man. The damn Edomites were doing all, we're butt breaking a lot of our people, man. And that's why, Jamaica, like they're so against that shit, like against the whole damn gay agenda, because they were doing a lot of that stuff on, to the slaves, of Jamaica. All right. Even right now, our people are still out here, and like in these garrisons, all right, of Jamaica and all that stuff, and like they don't have any type of money, no funds, so a lot of our people have to turn to crime, organ trade, everything, extortion. If you watch that movie Shatas, all right, and like also watch this movie called it's called Better Must Come. All right, like that, like it shows you all that stuff, man. I'm gonna probably yeah, if you watch this movie too, man. Like this was in the 70s, right, where there's a lot of crime, a lot of like there's a lot of like a lot of political war, and basically like that's why a lot of our people fled from Jamaica, and now they're here, and they're in here in Canada, they're out in America, the UK, fleeing from from this damn civil war and all that stuff. You guys, if you haven't really watched those type of movies, you should go watch it, man, because it shows you, man. And that was in over here. Like over here is where Mountain View, like like I have a lot of family out there on both sides, and from east to the west, I have a lot of family, that's from the east side of Jamaica to the west, so I have a lot of Jamaican roots, yeah, man. So the Most High is gonna Most High is gonna have mercy, and like the Most High only coming for his elect, man, because the 2/3 of our people is gonna like have to go, and that's it, man. This is Jeremiah. Is it Jeremiah 4:16? Okay. Alright. Because we're coming to the end of this thing. Right now is not a time to be right now not the time to be like half stepping and getting that, murmuring and all that shit, man. We're at the end of this thing, man. So that's it. Jeremiah 16 verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, from the North America, and from all the land whither ye have driven them. And I will drive them, and I will bring them again into their own land, saith the that I will bring them again into their own land, that I shall give them unto their fathers. Right? You see, right now also, you watch that thing with Vice of Jamaica, where the Jake he went to Jamaica, and they met up with like Chief Richard Curry. He's a chief of in like what do you call that area, Saint Anne, that region or whatever, like it's called the Cockpit County. All right, that whole, that like that. See, that whole region is his, right? He's the chief, and they were basically like they're entitled to that land, all right. And like every year they have that celebration on like on every year basically like they have that it's like every year like they have that celebration for the past 300 some odd years, all right, over there in the Cockpit County, in that region, right? And but they're doing a lot of like a lot of stuff that they're taking out a lot of the resources and stuff, and basically like it's destroying the earth, like with their backside mining and all that stuff. So the Lord has to come, because basically a lot of things are dying, a lot of animals, a lot of fish and all that stuff. So this is gonna get real, man. And basically like the Most High is having mercy upon upon his elect, and upon the hopeful members of the elect, of Jamaica, because because the brother's been out here warning our people, doing a lot of in classes and stuff, and it's real. Also, there's a lot of history about Queen Nanny. She was a leader, all right, and she had 5 sons. Kuju, Johnny of the Maroon, the compound. If you want to do your research, there's a lot of stuff, man. Also, there's a lot of our people who were basically like they were like traders too, and they call themselves Sephardic Jews. I come from the Sephardic Jew line. All right, I have a lot of family that trace their lineage right back to Spain and Portugal and Italy as well, and I have a lot of family who trace their roots right back to to England. All right, on both sides of my family. So I have a lot of Jamaican roots. Even though I'm a foreigner, all right, because basically right now, it's a diaspora, right? Our people are scattered through the whole entire earth, man, from the east to the west. This is we're gonna close out for this. James 1 verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting, right? So this is the 12 tribes, man. All right, and basically like basically like we have hope and faith, as to who the tribes are, right? Because Apostle Arya, all right, he was the one who went in depth and like whether he had because he was always going into the books, man. Apostle Aria, um, a couple of those other brothers or whatever, and like they were going into that history, man. All right, so you wouldn't know who the hell you were, if it wasn't for these men. All right, so Jeremiah, or this is Genesis 49 and 1. And Jacob called his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you which shall befall you in the last days. So we're in the last days now. All right, and basically, from that time, it's been basically over like 3,000 or like 3,500 years. It's been even longer than that. Basically, it's been written in stone. Like when you go into the Torah, all right, about the blessing, all right. But now, fast forward now, we're living in these things, because when you read Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, all right, I think 40, verse 40, it talks about like talks about the 12 tribes who are scattered, right? Because basically the 12 tribes that was the Syrian captivity, right? Where the northern kingdom was set into slavery, into slavery, hardcore slavery, all right? And basically they were freed, and there's like the southern kingdom, all right, of Judah was still there in the land of Israel, but a lot of our people came, all right, and our people came to South America, the Caribbean, North America, and they branched out. All right, it's a lot of things, man, and that's it, man. Because the people in the land of Israel right now, they're not the real Jews, man. All right, even though there's some of our people who scattered in that land, but for the most part, the inhabitants of that land aren't the real Jews, man. But with that, I'd like to say our praises due to How about Shem Shai, double honor to the apostles of great milestone. Peace and blessings to the whole members of the elect. Shalom.